Hi all, I'm Libby, proud captain of Millwall Lionesses. Thank you to our Millwall fan show from the No One Likes Us Talking team for sponsoring me this year. Make sure you give them a listen like I do. Or even better, why not sponsor a Lioness while you're at it like they do? Thank you always for your continued support.
This podcast is a proud member of the Fan Hub 100. Football without fans is nothing, so we've partnered with Fan Hub to put fans first. Search Fan Hub app to play your part in the journey.
Hi, I'm Bethany Warren, and you are joining me to listen to the podcast of our Millwall fan show with the No One Likes Us Talking team, which is available every Friday at 8 p.m.
It's the night show of COVID-19 in lockdown 3.0 here in England. I'm your host, James Kelly, and I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, George Lampey, and Ted Robinson here with me.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Firstly, before I turn over to the panel, there's a couple of urgent requests. Sean Daly of the Millwall Community Trust is desperate for volunteers to deliver their support for the community. He continues to lose team members due to self-isolation requirements. Call Sean on 07958 027 060 if you can help. I'll repeat that. That's 07958 027 060. The Lions Food Hub, based in Rennie and Manor Estate Tenants and Residents Association Hall in Bermondsey, are looking for food and financial support. To help them, you can find Lions Food Hub on Twitter and Facebook. Well, good evening guys. Long time no here. Patricia, how's lockdown been going for you, and how have you found Millwall recently?
Lockdown's been the same. I've been working all the way through, being a key worker. I've not really been enjoying much of the football lately, to be fair. I'm finding it a bit of a trudge watching Millwall at the moment.
Ted, obviously frustrating against Barnsley on Saturday. What did you make of the game?
Well, that was a wonderful way to start a energetic programme, Pat. Thanks for that. It's all about building it up. God almighty.
Nothing changed. It's just a miserable care all the time, isn't it, really?
Oh, dear me. Sorry, James. Barnsley. You were talking about the game against Barnsley. It was a strange game. I didn't expect Barnsley to play the way that they did. I've got to be honest. I thought Gary Rowett's tactics were pretty good, especially when we exposed them in the first half. But then, I don't know what went sort of wrong. We stopped doing it in the second half. And although we did have a chance, I actually thought a draw would have been a fair result in that game, if I'm honest. But Barnsley, they surprised me. But look, how many games they've gone? I think 6 games they've won on a spin or something, and they're in the playoff spot. So no shame to losing to a side that's playing as well as them at the moment.
No, absolutely not. George, on some more positive notes, a decent 2-1 win against Preston midweek.
You nearly forgot my name here, James, didn't you? Not that I'll take it personally.
Yeah. So I'm a month away.
No, it's all right. I haven't got such a big edge. Yeah, that's all right. No, I mean, I don't quite agree with Ted about the Barnsley game, but there you go. I never do agree with him. But the Preston game, I thought it was an awful first half. Anybody watching it couldn't have been happy with the first half. I thought in the second half we dug in, and we seem to do that on all the games, dig in, and we're not easy to beat, but we fully deserved the win, and I thought it was it's always great for any team to be able to come from behind, and so I was delighted. But but we're like Jekyll and Hyde team, aren't we? One day we're good, one day we're bad, or it's not even games, is it? It's halves of games. One time we play well, the second half we play bad. I wish we could get some consistency going, but that's a story for another day, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, with Preston, I don't even think just the first half. I think like the first half an hour, not of the game, we were all over the place, and then all of a sudden Scott Malone scored that brilliant goal, got us back into it, and then I think from there we were just on top. We probably could have had another couple of goals. I think Mason Bennett hit the crossbar, Jed Wallace fired a shot across goal, and then lo and behold, Mason Bennett comes up trumps at the end, which is a nice way to round off an evening.
I think Bennett is improving. I mean, he seems to be losing weight, and I think that was a big thing against him. I mean, he was quite a weight when he first came, and he's looking a lot more nimble now, and I think it's showing.
So you're saying he was a fat boy then, are you? A bit of a fat boy.
Yeah, he was. He was well beefy, especially around the hips. And I've noticed he has lost a lot of weight. And yeah, he did really well against Preston, like running on the keeper and causing him to make a mistake there. No, I wasn't that keen on him to start with, but he's growing on me.
Talk about no mercy, eh?
And then the fat boy pops up and scores, doesn't he, the fat boy?
Well, yeah, I think Mitchell deserves a mention as well. I mean, he just refused to be bullied by Mahoney. He was absolutely Malumbi. Sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. But I mean, he looked so mature in that space there, didn't he? I would probably put him my man in the match second half.
As the game went on, he improved, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I didn't see him much to start off with. Well, he wasn't, he was taking part, but certainly as the game grew, he grew into the game, actually. That was, good.
Yeah, I think we always felt that Billy Mitchell could be a Jason Malumbi this season, but unfortunately, obviously, his injuries sort of knocked him out. But, I mean, he could have done what Jason Malumbi done for us last year. I mean, I know some people have been saying how nice it would be to have the pair of them in the middle of the park. And I don't disagree with that, because I still think Jason Malumbi is a good player. But what Billy Mitchell, I believe, like you were saying there, George, I think what he actually become on the other night was a man in the second half, because he got better, he got stronger, he become the main man in the middle of the park. And I think what Ryan Woods needs is someone like that alongside him. I think Ryan Woods has missed the energy and the sort of power that Ryan Leonard brings to the midfield, and I think Billy Mitchell steps up and became that man on Tuesday night, and that allows Ryan Woods to do what we know he's capable of, i.e. the pass that he gave for the second goal. He just Ryan Woods is a better player than he's been showing us in recent weeks, I believe, and if we can get that boy playing as well, he's the guy that can unlock sides because of his passing. And sometimes he goes a bit too negative, but that pass the other night was absolutely sublime to get Mason, get the fat boy in, as Pat would say.
I'll be getting messages from Bennett soon, won't I?
By the way, Mason, that was Pat saying that, not me. I think you're ultra slim.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a break there, and we'll be back with our first guest this evening. But for now, let's listen to what the Fantastic Fanatics offer to our club.
Hi, I'm Richard Gordon, and I'd like to invite you to become a Fantastic Fanatic. Fantastic Fanatics is a great way to raise funds for your sports club. Sign up today, find your club, and securely register your everyday debit and credit cards. Every time you spend with our retail partners, they pay a percentage back to your club. It costs you nothing, and you could win cash prizes along the way. Visit fantasticfanatics.com and help your club be the best it can be.
I'm James Kelly, and I'm back with the No One Likes Us talking team of Patricia Maslin, George Lampey, and Ted Robinson. Some great stuff on that site from a wide range of quality online outlets, and when you buy from them, a percentage will go to our community trust. As a bonus, this month you can win a pair of Lotto's soccer boots signed by the prolific goal scorer that is Scott Malone, if you make a purchase on the site. Our first guest tonight originally hails from Southwark. He began his career as an apprentice at Tottenham Hotspur before becoming a professional there. It was from there he joined Millwall and played 245 times for us between 1967 and scored 87 goals for us before he left in January 1973 from that team from Selhurst Park. He also played for Leyton Orient before going across the Irish Sea, set to sign for Dublin side St Patrick's Athletic in October 1977 under former Millwall teammate Barry Bridges, and scored twice on his debut. 3 seasons followed in the North American Soccer League with the Vancouver Whitecaps, helping them to win the Soccer Bowl in 1979. He finished his career in Canada, and he now lives out there amongst the beautiful surroundings that are offered in British Columbia. We welcome to the show Derek Possee.
Well, thank you.
Good evening.
Before I let the team chat to you, can I just ask about your upbringing in Southwark, which was and still is a stronghold for Millwall supporters?
Well, I mean, you go back and I had 2 older brothers, and we're all still alive, amazingly. Yeah, we were the rag-ass kids playing in the bomb site, you know. I mean, that's what we were. And Mum was down the council all the time demanding we get moved out of London anyway. They moved us to Merstham in Surrey, just down from Croydon, Redhill and Reigate area, and that's where I played my early football through the schools, as everyone else did.
Hi, Derek. It's Ted here.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, Derek. What was it that brought you back from Spurs back to South London and Millwall to play your football? How did that sort of come about?
I really don't know. I mean, I was lucky enough to make my debut at 17 at Tottenham and play with Jimmy Greaves and a few other of the greats, Danny Blanchflower, Dave Mackay. I mean,
not bad.
I was very lucky. Yeah. I remember when I made my debut against Aston Villa, 17, they called us the mini forward line. Terry Dyson, 5'3", me 5'5", Jimmy Greaves 5'7". I mean, you go back and it's just incredible when you think about things like that. So, after it was funny because after the FA Cup final when they beat Chelsea 2-1, I sat down with Bill Nick and had a long chat with him because I'd had a really good season that year and played in the first team, scored a few goals and felt I should have been playing. Anyway, I asked for a transfer and he said he wouldn't transfer me. And Benny had signed Keith Weller, and Keith was saying Benny really fancies you down the den with me. And I said, well, he's got to come in, and I spoke to Bill Nick, and he says no. And then right just before the season kicked off, Bill Nick said, okay, we're letting you go. So Keith went for 17,000, I went for 25. So yeah, which was like, whoa, quite a lot of money then, I suppose. It's not anymore. I mean, it's chump change now.
May have been the best money we ever spent, that.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Derek. It's Pat here. Good to talk to you again. Hi. You joined a team that gained quite a reputation as challengers for the top tier in English football. You came in as a 21-year-old and played every minute of every game that very first season you was with us. Was it hard fitting in with the team that Benny Fenton was building?
No, I found it actually very refreshing because I'd been playing with like top players. Dave Mackay, I think, was unbelievable. Jimmy Greaves is still the best striker I've seen. He was incredible.
And how did you find the team at Millwall coming from that?
No, they were very welcoming. Great bunch of lads. I mean, Harry Cripps, I mean, he just was great in the dressing room and the lads were great and, it was very easy to fit in, and we became pals. I mean, we were like, when we walked on that field, we were a team in the dressing room and on the field, and that was very important. And the only other time I've had that was when I came to the Whitecaps, and we were a bunch of old English pros, and Tony Waiters put us together, and it just was like being back at Millwall. It was brilliant, and that's where we went on and won Soccer Bowl. Yeah, I mean, we should have got promotion that year. And it's a shame we didn't. But I know in the game when we lost to Birmingham, I mean, the goal was offside, Trevor Francis was offside. But the word going around is the FA were shitting themselves because if Millwall got into the Division 1, which is now the Premier League, they were frightened of all the crowd violence and everything.
Nothing changes.
I don't think they wanted Millwall into the division, top division.
George here, Derek. Hello, mate.
Hey, George.
You were a player who certainly made an impact during your time with us, but who were your standout players with whom you played alongside over that period?
Well, Keith Weller has to be up there.
Yeah.
I think Keithy Weller was exceptional. Dougie Alder when he came through. Dougie was a great left wing. I loved him. I know he moans about me moaning at him, but yeah.
He was a great player.
But
yeah.
it was key for me that got Dougie into the team, because we were that season he came into from the youth team and that. I mean, we said to Benny, like, because in training he was always doing good and he could hit a great ball near post, which I kept telling him that's what he had to do, and we said to Benny, give him a chance, and Dougie came in and he never looked back. It's been brilliant, and I'm still good friends with Dougie now.
Derek, I tell you, in 1972, you scored a goal against Birmingham City. You mentioned them a bit earlier, that they actually won the big match golden goal that season.
Golden goal, yeah.
I'm sure you still remember it like I do. It was a simple tapping, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a lot of my goals, yeah.
It was. I do remember the goal. I remember it, Derek, because I thought to myself...
Oh, no, actually, it was being played the other day. It was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or whatever it was. And a lot of people my brother put it on there, and one or two other people. And, I mean, Bridjo, the ball he knocks through is so brilliant.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And my pace took me past Burns, and I just pinged it with a left peg, and it went in the net. I mean...
It was a great goal and a great occasion, actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Me on the op, Derek, because I thought you was going to go round the goalkeeper, but you hit it first time.
Yeah, I mean, the ball and the run, it was basically, if you see, I just sort of stutter step before I ping it with my left. And a lot of people said to me, are you left-footed? I said, no, I'm two-footed, actually, and I always was, from a kid, kicking the ball up against the wall with my brothers.
Derek, how would you sum Benny Fenton up as a manager? And also, whenever anyone writes about Jack Blackman online now, there's always such a feeling of love for Jack, especially from ex-players. Was there something special about him?
No. Jack was classic. He always had a story, and Jack was brilliant, and a good sense of humour. And Benny, I consider Benny a player's manager. I think his tactics in them days, what we played, are very interesting. Benny wasn't an on-field coach. He'd talk to you, he'd pull you aside and talk about things, and I think he was a man manager. Yeah.
Derek, do you think
Jack
that
was classic.
Yeah.
Derek, I was going to say, do you think we should bring back Jack's bucket and sponge?
I was going to say that.
If the physios had that today, I think the players would be jumping up.
Sponge was in a soccer ball bladder.
That's right, yeah. I don't think you can use the sponges anymore, can you?
No. I mean, the players, you've got to have sprays and everything. I don't know whether that's to do their hair. I'm not sure.
But you never used to lay around on the floor for too long when Jack started coming to water.
No. Jack would come running out, and he'd have that sponge in his little bladder, and he'd squeeze it down the back of your neck, and soon as he jumped up.
I got a couple of questions for you, Derek. First one is, what sort of formation did Benny used to play in them days?
6s and 7s, yeah. No, he basically played a 4-3-2-1, sort of, yeah. I mean, we had good centre forwards as well. I mean, Brian Conlon was good. Alfie Wood, I loved playing with Alf.
Yeah, he was a great bastard.
He was just so brave.
Sure what formation Crippo was playing in, though.
He had his own.
He was playing his own game.
All over the place. All over the place. Crippo would go on runs, and we'd go, where the hell are you going? Yeah, and he'd have that big smile on his face.
Yeah, I'm just going to take him out.
Once he started going down that wing, I don't think he could stop, could he? That was the trouble. Once he got his speed up, bless his heart, yeah. Can you tell us how your transfer from Millwall to Crystal Palace came about?
Well, it was out of the blue, actually, and And West Ham had come in for me as well.
Pick 'em, Derek.
Yeah, I know. Millwall fans' favourite two teams, yeah. No, I came in one morning and Benny said to me, Posh, you got to get over to Upton Park. West Ham are looking at buying you. I went, oh. So I drove over there to meet Mr. Ron Greenwood. And I sat around for like 2.5, 3 hours waiting for him. Which really, I got upset about it. And then I came back to the ground and Benny said, Crystal Palace have been in. You go over to Sellers Park. Well, I got over there, they welcomed me as if I was the lost king, you know. And anyway, they offered me basically the same sort of monies that West Ham were going to offer me and that. And in the end, I chose Palace because I thought I would fit in better there, but I was so wrong. Because playing for Millwall and the players and the lads, they were fantastic. And they knew my runs and they knew that, you know, you put a ball certain places, if I'm not there, there's a problem. Because I want to be there. And Crystal Palace, I felt the players played for themselves. We had some, like, we had Charlie Cook there, we had Paddy Mulligan, Don Rogers came, Alan Whittle came. I always felt they never played as a team. They played individually. I came off the field one day and we got beaten. Paddy Mulligan said to me, well, I had a good team, so I'm not bothered. I had a good game, I'm not bothered. And I was like, wow. Like when I played at Mill with the lads, we hated to lose. And I think the crowd knew that. We gave 110% every time we walked on the field together.
Did you just have to leave in them days, Derek? Did you just have to leave a team if you were just told to go and play for someone, you know, someone wants to buy you?
Oh, no, if they sold you, you went, yeah. I don't think you could turn it down in them days. I mean, I don't know. And at that time, I think Millwall financially were like selling the player a year. Like Keith went the year before for 100 grand. I went for something like 115. And I think it was like a player a year to keep them afloat at that time, to be honest.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Derek, you wasn't alone not fitting in at Palace. Us fans feel the same way every time we go over there. But,
we don't have to stay there very long, do we?
No, we like to get out there as quick as we can.
No, you hour and a half. I was there for 2 years.
With a win, yeah. But listen, Derek, what's your most fondest memory of Millwall, playing at Millwall? What's the one memory that really sticks out in your head?
Well, I think the golden goal has to be one of them. When we beat, I think it was Preston 2-0, and we'd heard that Birmingham had lost, and we thought we'd got promotion, and the crowd came on and they were carrying us all around, and that was so good, that was unbelievable, and it was for the fans, you know. And then we get in the dressing room and walk in the dressing room and all of that. I went, what's the matter? I said, Birmingham won. And it was like, Christ, it was on such a high, it came down with a big bang, yeah. I think Benny was a good manager. As I said, I think he was a player's manager, man management, you know. I think he was brilliant at that. Yeah, always have fond memories of Benny, yeah, and Jack.
Well, lastly, before you go, Derek, it's a tradition on the show that we get the guests to give a prediction for our next match. So, we're playing Blackburn on Saturday at the Den. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, the lads have, you know, the team has actually done quite well over the last few weeks and got some decent results. I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
Ooh, cool. Sitting on the fence there, Derek.
No. Why?
Well,
1-1 draw.
Okay.
Fair enough. Well, thanks again for coming on, Derek. It's great to talk to you as always. And we hope that we can have a chat with you again soon and get some more stories down the line.
No problem at all. Love chatting to you all. Millwall's very dear to my heart.
And you're dear to all Millwall supporters' hearts.
Yes, you are, Derek.
Thanks, Derek. Great.
Thanks for all the
Thanks, Derek. Take care.
You take care.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay.
Cheers.
Okay, bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break there. But before we listen to our fan in the dugout. He's a close collaborator of our Stan Godwin. It's Kai Bennett and his Millwall Fan TV.
Hello, I'm Kai. I run Millwall Fan TV. I have done for about a year and a half now. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you just search in Millwall Fan TV, I should come up. You can also find me on YouTube at Millwall Fan TV. I do pre-match predictions, post-match analysis and full-time reaction. I also try to do as many interviews on ex-Millwall players. I've done about 10 so far and I've absolutely loved every minute of it. Thank you so much for all your support. And if you want to subscribe to Millwall, my channel, it's Millwall Fan TV. All your support is always massively appreciated. Thank you.
I'm James Kelly, and I'm back with the No One Likes Us talking team of Ted Robinson, George Lampey and Patricia Maslin. Great to listen to Kai. He's now reporting regularly on the online soccer journal Vavel.com. Why don't you go and check it out? But for now, something completely different. Our second guest tonight has a keen focus on rockabilly music, restoring rockabilly vehicles, presenting on the global rockabilly radio, playing the upright bass and singing too, as you just heard. He's also a stand-up comedian, and last but no means least, he's a long-standing Millwall fan, and his Facebook profile testifies, and he also hosts a Millwall Facebook site out of the blue. He hailed from Downham as a boy and found his way to the Den from there. In years later, his army life took him to Germany, where he also remained for a time as a civilian. He's now back in the county of Kent these days, and I'm delighted to welcome to the show Mike George, a.k.a. Wildcat Mike.
Hello.
Evening.
Good evening, Mike.
Evening. Hello. Hello.
Oh. Mike, can I just ask, how long were you actually exiled in Germany for, and how did you feed your Millwall fever back in those days?
So I went back out there, posted out there in 1980 and came back in 1989. But every time we got an extended weekend leave, I used to come back. And there used to be four of us in a car, screaming to the coast to get on a ferry as quick as possible and go up to up from there.
Hello, Mike. It's Ted here.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How did you actually start coming to the Den? What actually hooked you? And what's your earliest memory of going to the Den?
First game I ever went to, 1969, against Aston Villa. And my dad took me. He said, come on, we'll go up to Millwall. We'll see the world's best football team. And he was a Villa supporter. And Villa won 3-1. Andy Lockhead scored the winning goal, as I remember. And some of the old supporters got a bit upset with Mr. Purser, slung a few beer bottles through the director's box windows. And I just thought to myself, I'm having some of this, I love it. And I've been going on and off ever since, you know. Not the time of violent person, of course. No, I joined the army, I had a gun, then I was violent.
Hello, Mike. It's Pat here. You followed the lines.
How you doing?
All right. I'm really well, thank you. Followed the lines for many years. I've got one question in two parts. Who is your standout manager and player of that time, and then tell us why?
Well, I remember seeing Harry Cripps, and I thought he was quite impressive at the time. He used to get a free kick and then chuck the ball 10 yards in front of him, and the referee'd come along and, wait, go on, move it back. So he'd pick the ball up, the referee would turn his back to run off, and Harry would just drop it and take it from where he originally was. That was good. I think probably the other player was actually Derek Possee. And my favourite goal outside of Wembley, obviously the Gary Alexander goal at Wembley, But Derek Possee against Birmingham was my favourite. Has always been my favourite goal.
Yes, he's as well.
As for managers, well, I mean, I think Gary Rowett's doing a good job, to be honest. But Harry Fenton, Benny Fenton rather, Harry Fenton, he used to make clothes, didn't he? But yeah, George Graham, I enjoyed him. He was tough and pulled the team up, and you know.
Yeah, can you just explain that, Gary Rowett? Are you putting him amongst your standout managers at Millwall?
I think he's done a brilliant job with a very, not being rude to any particular players or anything, but it's a fairly average squad with a few standout players. He's had tons of injuries, and he's been absolutely slaughtered for it, for his tactics and everything. I think he's doing a really good job there, you know. We're up in 10th place, which is about where we should be and where we're more comfortable with. And I think he's doing a good job, you know. People are absolutely hammering him, and I can't really understand why, you know.
That's your lot, Mike. Pat won't talk to you no more.
Yeah, don't disagree with him, Mike. He won't talk to you, mate. No. Georgia, mate. It's great to talk with you, Mike.
A woman not talking to me, that's a bonus. No nagging.
Right, listen, Mike.
They don't up nag, do they?
Well, she does. Cool, blimey. Yeah. What are your thoughts on our current form in the Championship at the moment?
I think we're doing all right. I think Scott Malone and Mason Bennett have suddenly just blossomed and turned into the players that they were almost came with their billing, if you like. And all of a sudden they're scoring goals, and what goals as well. I mean, Scott Malone just don't do tap-ins, does he? I heard that the other night. And I just thought, you know, sod tapping it in, I'm going to smash this as hard as I can. I thought the headed goal by Mason Bennett was absolutely outstanding. I think the team are doing all right. I mean, given the fact that we've got 4 or 5, you know, players that might normally start, and he's having to cobble together whatever he can. I mean, Billy Mitchell come on the other day and he was absolutely fantastic. He played really well. I thought Danny McNamara was really good. And it's given Marlon a bit of a kick up the backside and said, well, look, hello, you've got a bit of competition here. But I think Marlon's got a bit of a problem, an attitude problem. And I just wonder, has Gary taken him to one side and said, look, all this aggro about the BLM and everything else and the fact that supporters were booing, I just wonder, has Gary actually taken him aside and said, look, it's not against you, it's just against this political movement. And hopefully Marlon's got his head in the right place, because when he's playing on form, he's on fire. And I remember we played some team up north, and all they were talking about was him and what he was doing to the team. He said, oh, he's absolutely destroyed us, you know. And I think he can do that, and he just needs to learn how to cross the ball, and he'd be a great player, you know.
Are you surprised that Rowett gets a little bit of stick in some quarters, considering we're about 10th in the league or whatever?
Yeah, I am. And the reason I am is because I can see what he I mean, I used to run a football side, and I used to coach them and coach tactics and all the rest of it. And so I understand what's going on, and I just think some supporters really don't see what's going on. I mean, they're having a go at Ryan Woods, who plays possession football. He plays the percentage pass 9 times out of 10. Now, playing the percentage football is when you play a ball that you know 9 times out of 10 is going to work. So he's not a risk player. He doesn't play that risky ball that might only work once or twice out of 10 times, you know. And if you've got the ball, in theory, if you've got the ball, they can't score. The opposition can't score. So,
that's right.
Yeah, no, given the right game, I think he's quite a good player. Next.
Mike, when you was out in the army in Germany with a gun in your hand, was you spreading the word about how good Millwall was?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I was. I spoke to a lot of fans from Schalke, and Schalke were known. They were quite a lively crowd, shall we say. and they were known as the Millwall of Germany at the time. And yeah, it was like that. And but the German football is really nice. It's very technical, but it's slow compared to our game, but very technical. I mean, I did a bit of a coaching course out there with the German FA, and I'll tell you, they are teaching people, or they were at the time, to play 35, 40-yard passes with the outside of your foot and bend it into the player running onto it. I mean, you tried doing that with English players. They go, "What are you talking about? I'm not Pele," you know. And they've got a very technical way of coaching over there. And at the level I played a couple of games over there. The level I was playing was myself and a couple of army mates who played for this German team, and we won everything because they don't tackle.
No.
At local level, they hate tackle. It's not a physical game, you know. It's like
you should have took your gun on the pitch, Mike. That's why you're winning.
I didn't need it. I didn't need to.
You just charged through, Mike. You just charged out.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd love to get some stick for being a foreigner, or what they call an Auslander. And I used to play in that old position of winger. Do you remember wingers? And I used to get the ball and go screaming down the flank with this ball. And one time, as I was running down, there was a leg with a Dr. Martin boot on the end of it come straight out in front of me, and I went flying. So I had a right go. I turned around, give him a right mouthful, and he just turned around and said, "Hau up, Inselaffe," which means "shut up," or it's a polite way of saying "shut up." But Inselaffe is what they used to call us, island monkeys. As we come at and that's what they call us. We used to call them boxheads, of course, or something like that. But yeah.
So, Mike, what's been your most memorable game in all those years?
It's got to be Wembley, hasn't it?
Which one? We've been there so often.
I know. Well, every single one. I mean, I'm quite proud of the fact. That apparently we hold the record for taking more supporters to Wembley than any other team has ever done, and I think the number I heard was about 77,000. But I don't know if that's absolutely.
I thought it was about 45.
Yeah, it's about 50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, shall we negotiate on a figure and say 55? We'll leave it at that.
It didn't help Scunthorpe earlier about.
Do you remember the Wigan game? They couldn't
in
sell
1999.
Yeah, and they couldn't sell all the tickets. And Millwall asked if we could have the rest of the ones to fill that gap.
Yeah, they only took about 4,000 or 5,000, didn't they?
Yeah,
that's right.
Couldn't even give them away, could they? But there you go.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Mike. But before we say no worries. But before we say goodbye, it's always a tradition to ask the guest for a prediction. So, how do you think Millwall v Blackburn's going to pan out this weekend?
I don't know. Blackburn are hot and cold. I seriously don't really. I watch the old highlights on Quest and stuff, and I kind of skip through everybody else and wait to see what they're saying about Millwall. But whenever I was sort of half listening, Blackburn seemed to be scoring goals like they're coming out of fashion. Then I looked at the table and thought, hold on, they're down the bottom. You know, what are they doing down there? So, I don't know. I think we can do it, and I'll just be safe and say 2-1.
2-1.
There you go.
Nice.
I'll tell you a little story about Blackburn. Very quick one. Back in the day, many years ago, we were going up to Blackburn. And me and about three mates, three of us all together, and we were on the feeder road up on the M1, trying to hitch a lift to get up there, you see. And this van pulls up, full of blokes with like blue and white scarves, and they said, "Oh, come on lads, jump in." So yeah, we jumped in, and they started chatting, you see, and they're going, "Oh, it's going to be great, isn't it? Up at Old Trafford, giving them Manx a beating and all the rest of it." And we turned around and said, "Well, we ain't going there. Can you just drop us like near the nearest station, and we can, and we'll get a train." And where are you going then? We went Blackburn. And they all went a bit quiet, and I said, who are you? And we're Millwall. And they went even more quiet, and there was silence for about 30 seconds. And then one of them leaned over and he just said, "Here, what's it like to be a Millwall fan?" Of course, we absolutely collapsed in fits of laughter. It was funny at the time, all right?
No, good story, Mike. Good story.
All right.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Mike. We wish you all the best, and we'll keep an eye out for your match reports. Take care and stay safe.
Keep an eye out on Out of the Blue, because sometime during the summer, myself and Rob Woodford, who runs the site with me, we're actually going to do a video tour of Millwall's history of the old grounds and everything, where they first started. And that'll all be on video, and that'll be going on the site sometime in the summer.
Oh, decent. Yeah. We'll keep an eye out for that then.
Yeah, be good.
Brilliant.
All right.
Cheers,
thanks, Mike.
Cheers, Mike.
Bye-bye. You may remember Barry Stradling, who was our fan in the dugout last week. He's not only famed for his songs and Millwall books, but also his desire to help others. Currently, he's walking for the Step Forward Crisis Challenge in aid of the homeless. If you can, help him to help them. Put Barry Stradling Step Forward Crisis Challenge into your browser and you'll find the page to make a donation. We're going to take a break there before we look ahead to our up-and-coming fixture, but for now, here's Bethany Warren talking about Being My Eyes.
Hi, Bethany Warren here. Millwall Lionesses have partnered with international smartphone application Be My Eyes. Be My Eyes is an application that truly benefits the poor of sight and the blind, but is supported by those of us that can see.
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to first available number.
That's where you come in.
Establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Caroline. Is it for a present? Yes, it's a photo from my parents.
You can help just by installing the Be My Eyes app.
Print image.
And we'll notify you when someone needs your help. And if you're in the middle of something, don't worry. Someone else will step in. So, would you care to be my eyes?
Be My Eyes is displayed on the Lionesses shorts this season. Download the app onto your smartphone now and help those that need your eyes straight away.
I'm James Kelly, and I'm back with the No One Likes Us Talking team of Ted Robinson, George Lampey and Patricia Maslin. Well, it's time to look ahead to what's coming next for our Lions, but first we will hear from that Twitter and Facebook video sensation, Ellis Barr.
Hi everyone, Ellis here. Thanks for watching my videos and thank you for all the support. But now it's time to look ahead to your next match. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks as always, Ellis. Only one loss in 10 since you've been introducing us. Our very own Henry Statto Morgan up next with Sam Wright, a Blackburn supporter, as the fan from the opposition. Let's see what they have to say ahead of Saturday's game.
Good evening, welcome to View from the Opposition. This evening we're talking to Blackburn Rovers fan Sam Wright from Championship Unrestricted at Sam Sport Talk 95, capital S, capital S, capital T. Good evening, Sam.
Hello, you okay?
Not too bad after our victory against your fellow Lancashire rivals Preston 2-1, whilst unfortunately Blackburn found themselves, I believe, on the receiving end of a 1-0 loss at Reading. Currently sitting 15th in the league, 1-11, lost 15, drawn 7. So, Sam, do these numbers tell the whole story, or is there a subplot there that we're missing?
No, I think the numbers do tell the story in a sense, because it's the inconsistency. Very good going forward at times. Adam Armstrong is the second top scorer in the league for a reason.
Good player.
But on the flip side, we haven't been consistent, and we're on a very poor run of form at the moment, and we've dropped to 15th in the table, which for Blackburn Rovers is unacceptable in my opinion. And I don't want to go in too hard on Mowbray, because I don't mind him. I think he's he's done well. He's steadied the club, but right now I think it's time that maybe someone else comes in and tries to move it forward, because we're kind of in the same old at the moment, mid-table. Not really we have a spell when we look like we're going to get the playoffs, but whenever the expectation gets lifted, we seem to let that get to us, and it just drops, and then we end up back in the same position.
In my email to you, I think I mentioned this as well. I think you're one of the better teams I've seen play, like as in 5, in the top 5 of teams that I've seen play up at Ewood Park. Other than Armstrong, who else do we need to look out for in your team? Give us a flavour of a couple of players that might be key playmakers for you on Saturday.
Elliott is fantastic. He's the main one I look at. I mean, Liverpool done very good to loan him out to a club like Blackburn, because he's going to go on. Obviously, it's tough for him to get in a Liverpool team, because Liverpool last season were champions in the Premier League by quite a distance.
Yeah, indeed.
But with Elliott, the potential was always there. I saw him in League Cup games with Liverpool, and I did think this kid looks really good. And I got very excited, and obviously, as you guys found out earlier on in the season with his goal, he does have talent to him, and he is very good. I mean, on his day, he did also lose the ball in the game, which led to Reading's goal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But look, he's still young though. He's still very young, and he's got time to develop. But he's certainly one to look out for. Obviously, Bradley Dack's been hounded by injuries, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
He was very good, but I mean, whether he's the same player. But no, they're probably the main players, I'd say, really. With Blackburn, it's the front three, and the midfield's okay as well, but it's mainly the front three that I think you'd have to be wary of.
Any time they get the ball, you sort of hold your breath, because they are, I think, top-end Championship strikers, if not lower-end Premiership. If you get if someone like Carlon Grant can make the step up to West Brom, I look at someone like Bradley Dack, and I think he's probably as good, and he's got a better track record. Is there anyone that Blackburn are going to be particularly wary of in the Millwall side going into Saturday's game?
I think with Millwall, I don't think there's particularly a player I look at and I go, he's really intimidating. I think it's the team as a whole with Millwall. They don't say have a standout player. I don't know if you'd agree, obviously, but when I look at Millwall, I don't particularly think of standouts. I think of a team, really. Millwall are quite hard to beat, and I think they've got a good sort of attitude amongst the players as well, which I think is why they've done quite solid in the Championship in the last few years.
Yeah, team spirit, I think, yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's it. Team spirit goes a long way, and I think the likes of Luton and Barnsley are proving that this season.
Yeah,
especially Barnsley. I don't know what's happened to them in terms of how they've gone. Luton as well under Nathan Jones. I think that's another thing as well. And yeah, I think a lot of the Championship does come down to team spirit. I think that's a big part of it.
I don't disagree. I think we lost to Barnsley last weekend 2-1. What is your score prediction for Saturday? What does your head and what does your heart tell you about our game at the Den?
Obviously, as I mentioned, Millwall are the draw specialists, and the form we're in right now, it's not been good. Since the Preston game, when I was quite hopeful for, to be honest, that loss really damaged us. When we pulled a goal back before half-time, I thought, this is going to be a really good opportunity for us to go and get a win now, maybe, and this will do our confidence good. But right now, we just don't have that, and I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw, but possibly think edging towards a 2-1 win for Millwall at the same time. So it's all there. But I don't actually see us winning right now.
Interesting. OK, Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us your view from the opposition. As I say, good luck with the rest of the season after Saturday.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and good luck on Saturday. Hope it's a good game.
Well, back in December, it was an unlucky loss by the odd goal and three, with a 91st minute winner from Rovers. Wednesday gone, Blackburn struggled to put Reading under any concerted pressure and are now without a win in 7 games, having lost 6 of those. Can we find the fight to make amends for our away loss and worsen their woe? Ted, let's start with you.
Can we? I hope so. Blackburn are on a poor run, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah.
That always makes me a little bit wary, because I think all poor runs come to an end. But I think after the game Tuesday night, where in the second half, we become more impressive to me. If we can do that sort of performance that we put up in the second half and take the game to Blackburn, I see no reason why we can't win it. The trouble with Blackburn is they've got Adam Armstrong, who always seems to score against us for some reason or the other. You know, it doesn't matter what that man's doing, whether he's in a bad patch or whatever. That he always seems to come up with a goal against us. But I'm confident that the guys are getting confident in themselves. It was an impressive second half last Tuesday, and I'm hoping of more of the same against Blackburn. And I see no reason why we can't win.
George, do you agree with those points?
Well, I don't agree with Ted very often, so I'll just say no, just to be blooming awkward, I think. I have to say, I think Blackburn are possibly one of the very best teams in the league. They may be struggling at the moment, but I think forwards, they have possibly the best forward line in the division. And as Ted said about Armstrong, he's top-notch when it comes to Championship. Their midfield with Elliott and Drake, I mean, I can't quite understand why Blackburn are struggling, to be honest. I'm hoping, I do go along with Ted at the fact that the way we played the other night, if we can continue that, I think we're capable of beating Blackburn. But I'm very surprised Blackburn are struggling as a club.
And last but not least, Patricia, what do you think?
Oh, not a lot left to say. As I said, Blackburn's not won since the 30th of January. They're on a really poor run, which is surprising. Again, Armstrong, 20 goals this season. I don't know. We can just hope that they carry on their bad form. I mean, it changes from week to week. It changes from half to half each game. We're so unpredictable lately. It's almost impossible. But had we had someone like Adam Armstrong, I really think we'd be in the playoffs by now. I mean, I think they've done really well getting in front of 2 million. He's only 24 years old, and that's really the type of player we need. I think we're going to find it struggle.
Okay, and as always, predictions. Ted, what do you think?
Do you know what? We owe Blackburn one, I think, as well. I think we're going to be okay, but I've got to give Adam Armstrong a goal because he always scores against us. So I'll give him one, and I reckon we'll score two. So I think it'll be another 2-1 victory. 2-1 victory. George?
Well, I haven't been drinking here, but I think Armstrong will score because he's that good. But I think we're going to win 3-1.
3-1. Nice. Patricia?
Well, I think I might sit on the fence with Derek Possee and go 1-0.
Oh, of course you will.
1-0. Yeah,
that's a dream of yours, Pat.
Yeah. Sit on the fence.
Arms around one another.
Yeah.
As we all know, Blackburn have been on a bit of a rut recently. I'm going to agree with Ted. I'm going to say 2-1 Blackburn. Adam Armstrong to get the goal, and I'm going to say Bennett, and I'm going to say Malone again to score for us.
That's a brave call, James.
We'll find out if it's paid off on Saturday afternoon.
I reckon John Daddy might get on the score sheet. There you are.
Yeah, he deserves a goal after the other night.
He deserves a goal after Tuesday, yeah, I agree.
Did I just hear Pat say you've been drinking, Ted? Did I just hear that?
You need a drink to do this show.
Me too, yeah.
Need to be on something.
Okay, well, it's a break for the Lions after Saturday. No midweek football, so what do? However, a longer break than usual will be assisting the team before we travel to Derby County on Saturday week. Makes a change. Don't forget that you can hear Henry review Saturday's match. Links will be available on our social media site and Spreaker. We're going to take a break from there for now for what is a more important message than ever from Patricia Maslin, with an introduction from our own Millwall hero, Harvey Brown.
Hello, Harvey Brown here. I miss my football at the Den. Did you know Millwall Community Trust are continuing to help people of all ages from different walks of life and are doing so much good in these tough times? But they need our help. Here's Patricia to tell you more.
Oh, thank you for that intro, Harvey. Millwall Community Trust appreciates your support. You are a star. Hi, Patricia Maslin here. Whether you're an organisation with bodies able to assist or an individual the Trust needs you during the current conditions to support the vulnerable and needy. If you can help make a difference or need help, please contact Sean Daly, the Trust's Chief Executive Officer, by phone on 07 958 027060. Once again, that's 07 958 027060. Or contact by email sdaly, I'll spell that, SDALY, at Millwall Community, all one word, .org.uk. I'll repeat that, sdaly, SDALY, at Millwall Community, all one word, .org.uk. If you can, or you know someone or any organisation who might be able to help, please let the Community Trust know. Thank you.
I'm James Kelly, and I'm back with the No One Likes Us Talking team of Ted Robinson, George Lampey and Patricia Maslin. People still continue to lose their lives due to this dreadful virus or as a consequence of suffering with it. High levels of infection remain with us, and many people continue to be hospitalised too. Our thoughts go out to the victims, their families, friends and those that take care of them.
Fans still want to support the club, and you can help. You can join the Lions Loyalty Club. It costs £40 with benefits. For £25, you or a member of your family can also be a crowdie, or why not sponsor a player's kit at the discount rate of £450. That's £130 off with all the benefits. You can also obtain a virtual mascot package. You could be a virtual mascot, George, for £104. Also contact the Millwall Commercial Department and become a virtual match sponsor, which includes being profiled on the iFollow audio and video streams. All the details and more can be found on the Millwall website. Lastly, don't forget iFollow returns to our screens with Carl Bates and Max McClellan on Saturday against Blackburn Rovers. 100% of what you pay, less taxes of course, for the internet streaming service, home or away, goes back to Millwall Football Club. What a fantastic way to improve their revenue during these challenging times.
Next Friday, Eamon returns to host the Form Between Two Roses show with Patricia Maslin, Stan Godwin and Bethany Warren. And if you want to know who the fawn is, it's Stan Godwin. In the meantime, Scott Johnson, the founder of the Proper Blokes Club, has pounded the streets each day this week by completing a marathon distance daily to break the stigma of men's mental health and to promote how his walk and talk groups can help. Being in lockdown means walks will continue, but only on a one-to-one basis, but he will still be looking for blokes to join him. Check out the Proper Blokes Club on Twitter and Facebook for further details. And don't forget to get behind that other challenger, Sean Hash, Millwall fan and London Ambulance Service call handler, on his walking challenge for the LAS NHS Trust. Simply insert Sean Hash Just Giving to your browser and a link will take you to the page to make a donation. Good night and good luck, everybody. Stay safe.
And don't forget that neither the Millwall Lionesses nor the Romans are playing football under current restrictions. Nonetheless, player sponsorship for the Lionesses is still available this season. Why not share the burden between a few of you, or maybe a couple of companies could come together? If you can give them some added support, it would be most helpful. You can find details on their website. Just put Millwall Lionesses into your browser and you will find them easy enough. We have sponsored their captain, Libby Stubbs, who made a tweet in response to the government's roadmap out of lockdown. Libby tweeted, "When football comes back, I'm going to be grateful for every second I'm on the pitch." We concur with you, Libby, and good night from me.
Lastly, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Follow the lockdown guidelines and social distancing, and a face mask wherever necessary. That's it from me. Thanks to Ted, George and Patricia, and until next time, good night.